One FRENZZYY podcast. And we're here tonight again to discuss your favorite sports. And as always, I know that you guys love football. And as customary, I'm your host, Levon, with me tonight. I have Kims. Hopefully, I'll be joined by a few other analysts in a couple minutes. But we're here tonight to dissect and divulge in the weekend's action in Premier League. And as you can see by the thumbnail, Leon Bailey sparkles in the Premier League. And he just played for 21 minutes, but it was a 21 minute that was worth it. And he absolutely took the game by the scruff of the neck because if you ask me, Everton were right in the game up until that point in time. But from he came in, he absolutely changed the fortunes of Aston Villa. And guess what? The Aston Villa faithful seems to love him a lot. Because even when he came off injured, in which later on in the interview he said that probably it was because of how hard he actually struck the ball that kind of aggravated the injury. But man, it was a good goal, and I've seen people trying to downplay um, the propensity of the goal, saying that it was just a good goal, nothing to get hyper about. And I'm like, yeah, if you look at the goal itself, we have seen a lot of players a lot of times actually do this exact same thing, and is either they slice it wide or it gone way over into the stands. So for me personally, I was impressed by the goal, but nothing impressed me like the pass by Danny Ings to actually find him. It was a class pass, and man, I love that goal. And for me personally, if I was Aston Villa, I would have challenged that home goal that they gave to Dieng as a Leon Bailey goal, because it Bailey skimmed off Dieng head and went in. So I would have actually appealed that to see if I could get Bailey that goal as well. What do you think of Bailey's performance, Games? And I know that you're someone that criticizes when it comes on him playing for the national team, but boy, he looks at home in the Premier League so far.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, he played for 21 minutes. He played really well, as he have been playing in all the games. When he's just missing the goals. But he finally got a goal this time around. Every time he comes onto the pitch, you see a difference in the dynamic of Aston Villa. Forward, you see the difference in their attack. So he definitely played well. I see a lot of comparisons. I don't know if you're going to touch on that, but that's that's very
Yeah, man, we can
blasphemous.
go right into it, man.
Oh, people saying that he's better than Sancho. You see, and this is why we have to beat. This is why we have to beat him when him to perform, because if you put him on the mantle and say, okay, he's on Sancho's level, then we're going to grade him on Sancho's level. You understand? These two men played in the Bundesliga. Sancho's clearly outplayed. But what I can say, you remember what we talked about, even the last podcast, what we talked about when we said that players go to a team that is not a high level team versus when they go to a high level team.
Yeah,
If Sancho was on Aston Villa, the team, Sancho would probably do the same thing or more. You understand what I'm saying?
I
But
agree.
but when you're in a team that obviously a championship team, a team, challenging for trophies, and your role is a bit, your role is a bit different. Leon Bailey basically, as the coach said, just tell him to go out there and just do his thing, be himself, do his thing. You play for Manchester United. There's no do your thing. There's none of that. You play in a particular system. And Sancho is definitely getting his feet wet, and I think better. But not to take away anything from Leon Bailey, he played well. He scored the goal. He lifted the team, because the team definitely. One thing when I was watching the game, after the half, I was like, time to put him on. I don't know why the coach always waiting. I don't know if it's the injury he's watching. I don't know what it is, but the coach is always waiting to the 61st minute to kind of put him on there. Because the game was very dull for Aston Villa up until that point. And then, once Leon Bailey, he brought the energy, they brought exactly what they was looking for. So, I hope him can continue. I hope him can keep it up, because now the expectations are there. First it was just, okay, he's coming to, we don't know what to expect. But now, he's coming on, he's playing well. Now we have some expectations for him. So hopefully, him can live up to that.
All right. The thing that I'm looking at keenly is that if Bailey is supposed to start, then the coach himself would have to change his formation because over the past 2 to 3 games, we have seen him revert to a you could say a back three or a back five, and there's been two strikers up top with Ings and Watkins playing together. Now, if I bring Leon Bailey in, Leon Bailey is not a striker; he's a winger. So I mean, the coach himself would have to change his formation, even though he himself said it that after they lost Jack Grealish, it allowed him to have more flexibility in his formation with the abundance of talent that he brought in because you know that Buendia is a talent as well, slowly coming through, gelling his way into the Premier League again after going down with Norwich and did well and came back up. So if you look at it from that standpoint, change of formation would be required, but I believe what it comes down to is that they're mindful of the fact that he has been this injury has been bothering him. So even though he said that it was probably shot and probably a little cramp afterwards, that was what impacted him coming off. But if you look at it though, it could be said that that is what they're wary of, hence why he hasn't started thus far. But as I said though, Kims, yeah, you're
Oh,
muted.
it was on me, my bad. As I was saying that, we really have no way to really decipher that if it's the injury or what. But um, I think I like his role for now. I think I like his role for now. When him come on, when the game is boring or need a little bit of life,
Third
then
legs.
tired legs. That is where he can capitalize on. With the fresh legs and thing, who knows? So for right now, I think just continue growing, continue learning, continue learning what your role is. What the coach is asking of you, and then if you're supposed to start sooner or later, you will start. Once things become equal.
For people that love stats, he's the first actual born Jamaican to score in the Premier League since Ricardo Fuller. So another hats off to Liam Bailey in that aspect, and we just expect him to go upwards from here because he has set a bar right now because he's playing at a particular level. So we don't expect it. Well, we're not going to say that we expect him to play the same over and over because you know that players tend to have their half days. But in terms of a level of performance, we don't want to see it up here and then your job come way down here. No, that's not going to work. And if that happens, we're going to be critical because what people don't understand, you can criticize a person without being called bad mind. There's something called constructive criticism. If you can do that, there's no need to say about a man bad mind the man because of this and that. That's how it
Yeah.
goes.
And I always tell people, if somebody say Leon Bailey don't good today, them not talk about him 2 weeks down the line. They might talk about him not good today, right? And I always tell people, as analysts, as sports lovers, as anything in life, with more information, you will always change your opinion. So obviously, if everybody has said, "Boy, Leon Bailey now go good for Aston Villa," we not have the information to prove that. No, him come and him play good. And nothing wrong if we change your opinion. That don't make we bias or too much or nothing. It's just more information and then we change our opinions. That's it.
The only thing that I have a problem with is that people that are afraid to appreciate when someone is actually doing good because they know that some people will still bypass and say, oh, this and that and devil knows what. Yeah, people like those that are total different level. But as I say, he has set a particular standard for himself. Now we
Yep.
expect him to keep on going forward. And as I said at the beginning of the season, if he gives them, well, let's say a 15 to 20 goal and assist tally come the end of the season, that would have been a very good season for him in my estimation. So just expect Bailey to keep on getting better and better from here. And he's in a, as I said, he's in a team that they don't really expect much of in terms of they don't expect a challenge for title or anything like that. So less pressure. So he's in a good environment and we expect him to keep on improving. All right. We're now going to look at the first fixture that took place on Saturday morning where we saw Wolves taking on Brentford. And boy, we were here saying that Wolves probably can start looking upwards now and start gaining more points since they got off the mark in terms of W. But Brentford
Mhm.
had other ideas and not looking good for you at all, Kens, because you expect Brentford to go down, but it's not to be. And Ivan
All right.
Tony.
So let me ask you a question before you continue. Let me ask you a question. How much games have we already played in the Premier League?
5.
So we have what? 33 left to go.
That's correct.
A lot of points. That's what. So if somebody win the rest of 33 games, that give them what? 99 points.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games left. There's a lot of time left. So I'm really and truly not even worried about Brentford because I know that that game that Brentford win, they really shouldn't have won. You know, Wolves should have easily like it's come to the point now where I have to say Wolves is the most unlucky. And Chris, I see you making up your face. You might want to say good night before you start making up your face like that.
Yeah,
All
man,
right,
go
so
give your
Hey,
point before I bring it.
don't
This man,
even
finish
uppercut
point.
you with them point there, no, man. Come you know, we are talking
Chris,
about Brentford
Chris,
just
hold on,
because.
man, Chris. Let Kim finish, then I bring
don't
you in. Man.
don't worry. So let me tell you, Wolves is the most unlucky side in the Premier League right now. When I say unlucky, the first 15 minutes, Brentford should have under 3 love. Easy. If you really watch the game, the first 15 minutes, Brentford should have under 3 love. All right. Obviously, you can't go to the bank and don't cash your check, right? Or else you're in a problem. So, the hypothetical no matter right now. So, Brentford, as I've always said, I've always lamented on this show that Brentford is a team that they know what they want to do every single time. They know what they want to do. They play when they're attacking. Their two wing backs go up when they're defending. They defend with five all the time, right? And they defend at a high level. And I know you see my boy Adama hit the crossbar, So they were just both unlucky, but again, you can't take nothing from Brentford. When they scored, they went up, and they held on to the 2-0, and boy, it's not looking good for me right now, no lie. But I'm going to tell you that Brentford is like I don't look at Brentford and I say this is a side that is going to go up. Where I'm going to beat Wolves now is that so like in this around the 64th minute, Brentford got a red card, and I didn't see Wolves look like at Wolves more looked like they were playing with 10 men than Brentford playing with 10 men. That's what it came off to me. I actually thought Wolves would put some more pressure, but it wasn't to be. I think after the first half coming into the second half, I just think they were just their spirits were down, they were just hopeless, and they were just thinking that it would not be their day. Sometime in football, it's just not your day. If you put Wolves versus Brentford 10 more times, I don't want Brentford to win one of those games. But it's just one of those things in football where on the day you just have to be better. And Wolves was only better for the first 15 minutes, and then after that it was all Brentford's game.
Okay, so here's Leon Press saying that Wolves is when Aston Villa got chances and not scored. That's why them buy Watkins. I remember that one because Aston Villa normally create chances, but there was no one up there to put away those chances. So was kind of in a similar situation. However, I said it to him on the last podcast that yes, Jimenez offers something different. However, Wang is a player that he scored in the last game, so obviously he's probably riding on a high. And you know that this man actually knows where the goal is. So I'd actually gamble on him to actually go in there and do his thing. But I know you're really waiting to go, Chris, because immediately after the match finish, you message me and say, boy, Kim's bought him 2-0 to Wolves. Take a 2 from Brentford. So what you have to say about that, Chris, knowing that Reggae boy Ethan Pinnock impressed again and there's another Reggae
I
boy in
was
prospect, Rick Henry
just
Anderson.
about to say, big up Ethan Pinnock. Defensively, he had a very good game. Against Arsenal, he had a pretty good game as well. The first match of the season, you thought that the nerves of the Premier League would have got the better of Brentford. Hey, let me tell you something. Brentford, throughout their first couple of games of the season, has impressed me a lot. They're a fighting team, and I think that it is a little bit of both Kems where Wolves are unlucky, but that proves how powerful of a coach Nuno Espirito Santo was to that team. Where you take away that element from Wolves, and now they're just they're unable to scuff their chance. It's like, let me put it this way. Remember when Sheffield United frightened a lot of people when Dean Henderson was over there, and the minute they pulled Dean Henderson, remember there weren't a lot of changes in at Sheffield, you know. When in the minute they pulled Dean Henderson, Sheffield got relegated. They barely won any games. So I think that is the case with Wolves, where you take an element that made them who they were. They were top 10 with Nuna for a couple seasons straight. There were 7 for back-to-back seasons as well. You take that element away, and suddenly they're just unlucky. I agree with Levon, where I would have put Huang there instead of Raul Jimenez. I think that you would go for an informed player. I'd go back to even the Champions League final with Liverpool and Tottenham, where Mauricio Pochettino went for Harry Kane instead of going for an informed striker, Lucas Moura, who was a winger, played as a striking position, and got your goals against Ajax, and you didn't start him and you lost against Liverpool. So I think that it was the same thing. I would have gone for Huang. He knows where the goal is, and it's just a very good performance defensively from Brentford. Even when they went down to 10 men, Kems put it perfectly. It was like Wolves were down to 10 men, and the 2 goals just punched the life out of Wolves. They've just been unlucky, but if you're not putting away your chances, I mean, can we put it down to luck all the time if you don't put away your chances? So I think that Brentford had a very good defensive game, but big up to hopefully a Reggae boy in the future, Ivan Toney, and big up to a Reggae boy defender that played very well in Ethan Pino. Very good game from Brentford.
So, Bossman, why never mention Rico Henry too, because Rico Henry has ties to Jamaica as well, you know.
I just wish these guys come play for the Reggae boys. I wish they could duplicate this kind of form playing for the Reggae boys. That's all.
It's different, you know. It's different, Kems. It's different.
But Kems, what I want to point out is that some people may agree, some may not. Question: would you say that Thomas Frank is a better coach than Ole? Reason why I ask, you know, look at what Brentford did when they went down to 10 men. They still played as if you notice that the style of play never changed any at all. They still remained in shape. They still played their football. While you saw when Man United went down to 10 players the other day, it's like, you know, press the panic button. Yeah, man, that's what Ole did, and boy, it never paid off. So I just want to bring in a correlation to see what you think about the two.
All right. So what I think is tactically he's better.
Okay.
I think intellectually he's better. You see me? And I just think overall, in terms of know what you want to do, he's better. And I think situational awareness, 10 times better, right? Because again, when Brentford go down to 10 men, you still can know what Brentford want to do. You still can know what Brentford do. United go down to 10 men, I wonder if something they are watch, because they're like a corner league. Like the man them just clueless, don't know what's going on. The coach has some changes. I wonder what the hell is happening. You know, so I think for those reasons, you know, and again, I don't think Ole could beat games where Brentford are win. If Brentford had Ole as coach, Brentford would have probably depended 0 points. So, you know, because that's just how I feel, because Ole has a very talented squad, and sometimes I really have to scratch my head and wonder, you know, sometimes we really have to scratch your head and wonder what going on. So, you know, that's just what I think.
I tend to subscribe to your opinion. Next up on Saturday morning, we saw 2 teams again that Kems expect to stay up. I don't know if he has been smoking some rum or whatever he has been smoking. However, Watford got the better of Norwich by 3-1, and it was a show of Ismail Issar. He actually had a very good game, and they got three goals, and it could have been way more. It could have easily had an hat-trick. but it wasn't to be. Brandon Williams had a game to forget. But Chris, what do you have to say about this Watford team? You think that they have enough tools to actually stay up?
Uh, yes and no. I think that's the reason why they brought Sarr in to Watford. I thought that, as I said, he could have easily had a hat trick where Tim Crew was just there to kind of kind of quell things down. But um, Sarr had an excellent game. Find pockets of space. Read the game very very well. But it's a yes or no situation because if all goes right, they can probably be 13th place if all goes right. But if you have teams continue to step up and step up and step up, then it's going to be difficult. But um, I'm probably going to say they barely make it. I would say they barely make it. Um, but they just overall have to have a very good season in terms of their unit, their chemistry. Ismail Sarr has to come, has to play very well for a good amount of games for Watford as well, because now they're depending on him. Because I knew of his talent, you know, I knew of his talent. I knew what he was capable of, and like I said, that's the reason why they brought him in. So if he's not consistent, you know, that now brings Watford into play. What are they going to do now as a unit to make sure that they can gather 3 points? So, and I see somebody put Troy Deeney. They probably have to call him up maybe later and ask
No
him
man,
if they
Dean is no longer at Watford, man.
yeah, I know. May I say them probably have to call
But,
him and him take a first class ticket come come back to Watford for help them. But
but
um where I said Kems?
where's Dini at right now?
I
Dean is
think Dean is
Burnley.
at Birmingham City.
Sadi.
Yeah, but for a guy that was an inspiration against Leicester City, many persons should remember that moment. To
Uh-huh.
know going to Birmingham City, playing in the Prem, going to Birmingham City now. But yeah, they would have to play as a unit, and Ismail Sarr will be the focal point of their attack. So if they want to stay up, then I think that's what they should do. But all credit to them. They got a 3-1 win against Norwich. Norwich, 5 matches, 5 losses. I mean,
Right back down.
boy.
But Kims, the
Uh-huh.
two teams that you have picked to actually stay up, I don't know what, as I said, I don't know what you have been smoking, if it's a rum or it's just water. But a player on Watford that has impressed so far has been Emmanuel Dennis. He has taken to life in the Premier League well so far, and he's big, he's fast, and he's strong. So what you have to say about Watford and Norwich? You think both are, well, as you said before, 99 points to play for.
Yep. So
After that is
Norwich coach, is him named Daniel Fark or something like that? All right. So first of all, that's to go. No is like what I notice with some of these teams, is that when they make a decision, all right then, as I always tell them, they can bring a team so far and no more. Are you going to be the yo-yo team that Ryan described? You come up and you go back down. Is that your aim? Just come up to the Premier League and go back down, or do you actually want to stay? Right? So Norwich has lost their last 15 games. I think I see a stat like this. They lost their last 15 games
8 straight
under
at
this,
home.
right? Like, so what are we still doing with this coach, right? And then Norwich again, they said I hear Chris mentioned it a while ago that they lose 5 games straight. They're just the 5th team ever to do that in the Premier League era, right? So you tell me, when you have a coach like this, and don't get me wrong, I'm watching Norwich and I'm seeing some quality, but them switch off at certain key moments when they need to be locked in at that time. And you can put that down to players, but I also put that down to coaching, keeping the players accountable. I don't think he's keeping the players accountable enough. So I think he needs to go. I think they need a fresh voice. They need a fresh, some fresh air. And just a new coach in the system, the building, create a new system and get it going. All right. So I think when Norwich makes that change, then you'll see an improvement in the football. You see an improvement in the results. Obviously, the results haven't been kind to them. The fixtures actually haven't been kind to them because they play Liverpool, they play City, they play Leicester. So it haven't been really been kind to them. But I really expected them to win this game actually, but it wasn't to be. Watford now. This is I believe I saw another stat that said this was their first away win in 11 games. First away win in 11 Premier League games. Good for Watford. They're making a step in the right direction. Haven't won an away game in 11 Premier League games. They come and they win, right? So, these, as I said before, because I said that these teams are going to stay up, doesn't mean that they won't be in a relegation battle. Because best believe, Norwich, Watford, Brentford, Leeds, Southampton,
Burnley,
Burnley, all of them in the relegation battle, a fight for peace soup down this one.
Crystal Palace, too.
Huh?
Crystal Palace.
Palace too, neither. All of them 7 days. So I like my picks to stay up because Leeds right now they have another L coming up. So I just believe that that is it for these two teams. I think Norwich need a new coach. Watford very inconsistent, too inconsistent. This game they play good. Next game they wonder if they should be in League One. Then them come back again and then play good. So it's too inconsistent. But as again, it's just 5 games into the Premier League. We can't be a froggy, can't be jumping up all over the place. We have to stay calm and probably 15 games, 16, 17 games, and we can give it, some more thought.
Okay. Next up, we saw Arsenal taking on Burnley. Arsenal got a 1-0 victory through Martin Odegaard with a sumptuous free kick. And why Burnley had chances to score, and I'm sure that Shandaish probably would have been blaming the referee, because he said that they should have gotten a penalty. It was a touch and go situation. Again, Kims, you expect this team to go down. Now, Arsenal, 2 that in a row, things looking up again for them, and Arsenal fans start to come out of hiding.
Well, I mean, I'm not really sure. They won against Norwich and Burnley, and they won 1-0, and they weren't playing blow me away football. Manningsman tell me about the spine of Arsenal. Tell me about one name Party, Pepe, and all of them people there. I mean, these are games they're supposed to be winning comfortably 3-0, 4-0, 89 minutes. I see full part the bus and all them little thing there. No, sir. You don't need them thing there again. If you're a big team, you don't need them thing there. But what I'll say about Burnley now, and again, I'm start read up the stats them and so Burnley is Burnley have the lowest possession percentage in the league, 38%, lowest. So once you play Burnley, you already know say them not gonna keep much of the ball, right? And they haven't scored a goal from open play. So if you can now stop their set pieces, then you already know say the job is done because them not score from the home play. They want them. You see when my ball about penalty. They want them corner. They want them penalty. They want them little free kick where Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood can just go muscle up the man them and so. But what I say about Arsenal, one person I was really impressed with was Gabriel. That defender run. Ben White looked like he need to go down a League One because he's not it. Right, but Gabriel, I love him read the game, love him understand the game. I love his physicality. He wasn't bullied. He wasn't scared. He was going into challenge, last defending, and that's what you want from a defender. So I think you big up Gabriel, but I want to know when. You can tell me, Levon and Chris. You can tell me when can we now start calling out Arsenal number 10? That's all I want. When can we start calling him out about his performances? Because all I hear is he's the number 10, he's the savior, he's going to do this and that. But all I've seen is disappearing after disappearing. Poor football, giving away ball in possession, poor free kick, not enough IQ, too soft on the ball. I've seen all of that, and I hear this one's the number 10, this one's the savior. So that's what can we start calling him out? Is it too early? Okay. You know, when him play against West Brom, East side, F side, then them go on and them gallivant and so. But in these games where you want a man have the number 10 for your side, you want him have the imprint on the game, you want to see him in control of the game, him a control tempo of the game. You know, he wasn't doing that. You know, he was just a bystander there and you know, not good enough. But Odegaard was good as well, and his goal was sensational. So I know I'm not saying Arsenal is on the up, but yeah, they're where they should be.
Okay. Chris, you want to answer to the question that Kim just asked?
I think that question should have been asked towards the end of the season. To be honest, you know, we spoke about, well, many persons spoke about how creative Emil Smith Rowe was, and how he's the new number 10, but he hasn't been that creative. As a matter of fact, Martin Odegaard was the more creative one in this game, you know, and topped his performance with a sumptuous free kick. Now, Ben White looks lost in Arsenal's system. From the day he stepped into to the Emirates team, he looks very lost. As a matter of fact, Tomiyasu looks more sturdy as a wing back than Ben White is in that defensive unit for Arsenal. He has looked pretty well, fit straight into the system. And I wouldn't send Ben White back to League One. As a matter of fact, I think that the system that he was in at Brighton fits well for him. I don't like when people say, oh, a player should go back to here or should go a step down. No, you are not in a system that is allowing you to flourish, which is why you're going to be presented with more faults. So I think that is the case with Ben White. But it does not excuse.
Can I disagree with that? Remember that this guy was at Leeds. Leeds played a back four, and they flourished in a lead back four. So from that standpoint, he has been in a back three. He has been in a back four. So I mean, as a central defender, it shouldn't take you overnight to actually fit into a particular system.
Again, well, before you, Chris, even answer, I kind of agree with what Chris is saying, and then it go back to my skilling team. When you play for Brighton, when you make certain mistakes, you kind of overlook them because of Brighton. Them are playing. You know, if you make them mistake there, Brighton for make them mistake there. When Rashford run left him and chop him out in pants, yeah, make them mistake there. If you make them mistake there for Arsenal now,
yeah, that's different.
No, especially with that $50 million fee, you know, now we expect $50 million performance, right? But but then look now, Brighton is right now in 4th place. Where's Arsenal? So is this just what you talked about a while ago with Dean Henderson and Nuno? Is this the Ben White effect? You know, this should, because Brighton is doing pretty well. I don't think Brighton miss Ben White, but I know Ben White miss Brighton though. So that's just the thing. Probably he will come good, but right now, you know, he's not playing up to his price tag right now. He's playing like a $5 million defender, not a 50.
Probably even a $1 million. But and also I'd want to give credit to Aaron Ramsdale. I mean, heading into Arsenal, nobody expected him to perform at all. People still thought Leno would have been the number 1 goalkeeper because remember, when Dean Henderson left, Aaron Ramsdale is the one that took over in between the sticks for Sheffield. And they were poor. They were absolutely poor. And they of course, I mean, can we really be surprised based on how they played last season that they were relegated? So, I mean, I want to give him credit, and I want to give, of course, Tomiyasu credit. And I'm going to that man's comment. It's not every system that you're going to fit in. Not every system, and you can't just assume that, oh, you mean at this level all players should fit into a system. No, and that's how football work. You can't just fit into a system like that. I mean, certain players are generational talent. You know, you take Erling Haaland from Salzburg, who was scoring goals for fun, goes to Dortmund, score goals for fun same way. Cristiano Ronaldo scored goals for Juventus. Right now, he's on 4 goals in 3 games for Manchester United. So yes, you're gonna have players that will fit in any system, but not every single player will fit in a system once they go over to a new team. And I think persons don't understand that. So that is my reply to them.
Okay.
So
So you're guessing as saying that all this level, all at this level, all these players should be able to adjust to the different system. Also, Ben White played different roles and positions in different system over the past 2 seasons. So that was what I was getting at. That he was at Brighton and he was at Leeds before, where he played in two total different systems. So yeah, I was coming from that basis. Also, here's John is saying that average players look good at small clubs. When they punch a little over the average required work rate at these teams, in big clubs, they can't look great.
Yep. For facts. I agree.
That's true.
fair
But
enough, fair enough.
Ramsdale, yeah, he has done well for Arsenal so far, and I expected him to take over the number one spot from he came in because Lena is a shopkeeper, so it wasn't much of a surprise. Next up was Southampton getting a result against Man City. Match ended in a nil-all stalemate, and City were awful. They never had a shot on target until around the last 5 minutes of the game. They started to attack, got that goal chalked off rightfully because of offside. But I mean, City were just so awful in this match, and I was so disappointed because I bet on them to win, and they didn't. So for now, City, I'm giving you a break. But Chris, what do you have to say about this match? And Southampton, they have been sneakingly picking up some points.
Yeah, they've been getting some points, and this was I believe one of the most important point that they've gotten. Going to the Etihad, um, nobody expected them. Let me not say the one of the most important point. I think one of the most surprising positive points that they have so far. I think that nobody expected them to win. This was an awful performance from City. You expected better from them. I think they only registered 1 shot on target before that towards the end of the game. Um, Based on the whole game, it was just a controversy with VAR. Kyle Walker got sent off, penalty awarded to Southampton, VAR check, no penalty, red card rescinded. But even when they had that red card rescinded, they just did not. I think that drama kind of even made it worse for them. Where sometimes it kind of throws you off in terms of your focus. But City never looked like they were coming off of first gear at all. They were not good. They didn't play their normal game. Credit to Southampton for getting a point. And they were not just stationary Southampton. I see spurts of the game where they could have gotten a goal. They could have gotten some chances. And Southampton, one thing that I credited them for was that they did not look afraid to maybe snatch something from City. And I think that is what, in my opinion, surprised City, even though I don't give them a pass. You're the defending champions. You're at home to Southampton, who persons don't think should get a point against you. And you came out and you gave a performance like that. And then before that, your boss come out and I say, oh, well, you guys need to come out and fill the stadiums and blah, 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 and all of that. Like, say, persons now have homework for those pitney, persons now have work to get ready for tomorrow in a Champions League. So I just think that this week has been a shambolic week for them in terms of your coach don't, you're not supposed to tell you to come up on a Saturday and then no, you put in a performance like that against Southampton. But credit to Southampton though. Congratulations to them for grabbing a point. Yeah, fair play to them. Fair play to the same mirror team.
Okay. A player that I've taken great interest in is Livramento. He played very well against Man United, and once again he played very well against City. Weren't you impressed by him, Kims?
Remind what you say again? Who?
Livramento, the right back for Southampton. He impressed against
Livramento,
United,
yeah, man.
and then once again impressed against City.
I'm impressed against United. Why?
No matter what you may say, he impressed. The facts remain.
Yes, yeah, you're right. You're right. He did impress against United. He was also very impressive against City, who, it looked like them put diesel gas in the car, and the car just a stall, right? Because let me tell you, and I agree with Chris. I agree with what Chris said. The coach come out, run him out, say, "Oh, the players are going to be tired. We need fans at the stadium." And then it was reported that the stadium was at full capacity. So now you have no excuse whatsoever. And you're playing Southampton, man. Like, come on. You can't put a bench team against Southampton and what Southampton are beating stick. You whop, whop, whop. Especially with losing Vestergaard and all those players of them lose. You're not supposed to have one shot on target win at the late stage of the game. Absolute joke team. But let me tell you something. 5 games in, I remember last season, Manchester City was like third, fourth, when it was like 20, 25 games played, and I said Manchester City don't look good, and them come win the league, right? So, I'm not, obviously, no, we'll react to it because, that is what happened, but, I'm not going to be too critical of it. They didn't play, nobody on the team played well. Um, the fans were probably the best part of the thing for Manchester City because they were cheering, 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 and trying to rally on the team, but the team just didn't have it. So, it was just one of those games. Hilal, I'm glad for my team, Manchester United, I'm glad that they drew, so we can get a little bit of breathing room. But apart from that, not too tough to talk about.
All right, next
Yeah,
up was
I wanted to add
Chris.
something else to that quickly. I realized that once Pep Guardiola puts added pressure on his players to perform, there are a lot of times against teams that he expects to win against, he crumbles, and he needs to kind of let off of that a bit, because you put pressure on your players to perform in a capacity crowd, in a capacity crowd, and you produce a performance like that. That's what I'm talking about. You put added pressure on your players and they're not performing. This is not the first, not the second, not the third that he has done it. And he
Chris,
continues to do it and it doesn't come up trumps.
Chris, these are big professional players. I don't want to hear put added pressure against a damn Southampton. I don't
Yeah,
want
but
to
but the thing is, you cannot say that these are
But
professional
now we have
players.
to
I
move
hate
on,
when
though.
you can go onto the pitch in a full capacity crowd. Let's say you're a professional player. Your coach I put pressure upon you for perform. There's certain players that no matter what kind of pressure you put, they will perform. But you
Fact
as a
remains, fact
professional
remains though,
player,
fact remains though that they are professional. Like, no matter what you want to
yeah,
try,
no,
it,
but no,
it,
Levon, we
fact
cannot
remains.
say because we're not stepping onto the Etihad or the Emirates or Old Trafford and performing in full capacity crowds. We are talking about a team now that is trophy laden. This team is winning trophies
don't
every
want to hear that.
season, most
Chris,
season. You
Chris,
cannot
could you just stop for a second?
you cannot say use professionalism and say because of
Chris,
that putting pressure
uh,
on them,
Chris,
they're supposed to
tell
do this and they're supposed to do that.
All right,
They're
let's move on. Let's move on. So here's
uh,
Sports Channel saying that Kim's always discredit on young players as long as they not come from
who needs
United.
sports channel?
Not
Who's that?
sure, but come in the comment section and tell us. But next up we saw Liverpool getting a 3-0 victory over Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace had them on the ropes from early get go, but eventually Liverpool kind of showing that championship mettle in terms of title credentials, and they came out with a 3-0 victory led by Sadio Mane getting his 100th goal for Liverpool. Um, Naby Keita with a special, and Mohamed Salah once again on the score sheet. And in this game as well, Sadio Mane became the first player to score nine times straight in a row against the same opposition. So that's after him. Kim, quickly on that one.
Quickly, I was wondering how Liverpool never get, any cold feet against Crystal Palace, with the pressure that Klopp put on his players, right? But hey, we move on. As I said before, I predicted the scoreline perfectly. I said it would be a 3-0. I said it would be a walk in the park. I said it would be another training session for Liverpool. Congrats to Mane. And, I think both you and Dino said it that, Salah loves scoring against this bug Crystal Palace team. So, he scored again. So, nothing much to add to it. Liverpool look good against who they should look good against. And then we'll move on.
Anything to add to that, Chris?
Yeah, I just like to say that Jurgen Klopp is not asking Liverpool fans to fill the Anfield Stadium. So I'm not going to say anything about that. But for the first couple of minutes, Crystal Palace did have Liverpool on the ropes, but they showed their class. A very good goal from Naby Keita. I don't think he knew that he had that strike in him. He looked confused when he struck that ball, but a very good goal from Naby Keita. And I mean, Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah just scoring goals. But one thing I want to point out this weekend is that there are a lot of African players that have been scoring. Sar, Naby Keita, Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane. You see a lot of African players scoring. So big ups to them. But Liverpool just showed their class in this game and their star power. So it was an easy 3-0 victory for them, and they're marching on. So I think they are in some ways title contenders, but they're the least favorite title contenders, if you ask me, based on what a lot of pundits and a lot of sports analysts have been saying. And I think that this win, this is what this is how you perform against teams that are SAPS teams against you when you have the far superior talent. This is what City should have done against Southampton. You have the better talent, you have the better team, perform against the better team, the least team. They didn't do that, but Liverpool did. 3-0 victory, easy win for them.
Okay, so Kems, the man has responded to your sports channel saying that doesn't matter who's behind the name, Kems, you need to lift the reasoning. You sound very bramble at times.
That's all right. I'm sure you sound very bramble at times as well. We all sound bramble at times
Everybody.
when the
Before we
population
go
go on.
forward, guys, I don't know if you do it before, but it's been 5 years. It's so long, Kems, since the man DJ the man DJ dropped out. I don't know if you guys did it at the opening of the stream, but rest in peace every time, rest in power, Dominic James. He's always missed.
Okay.
And yeah, as a Mr. Sports Channel, everybody ever saw on Bramble as long as you're not in agreement. But every time when you say my Bramble with Elaine, we already see what happened. When you say my Bramble with this, I want to see what happens. So I'll continue being Bramble, but I hope you're here when the results show itself.
Okay, next up is Brighton getting a 2-1 victory over Leicester. Leicester has started off the season very bad, Brighton, and the other have started the season very good. Quickly, because we have two other matches to get to. Chris.
Okay, quickly.
Yeah.
Chris, sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Leicester City is not starting well this season, as you said before. Brighton is very surprising this season. Pretty decent so far. Fourth in the table. Nobody expected that after their win on Saturday, before the games that happened yesterday, they were second in the table. They've been very impressive so far. Kems, you're right. They're not missing Ben White any at all. They have been pretty good, decent in terms of going forward. Danny Welbeck scoring goals for them. Not scoring a lot, but they're getting the result that they need to get. And that is very important for Brighton. So a lot of times when we look at these kind of teams, if they don't start brightly like this level, they're not going to stay up, or they're not going to be placed in a position that is pretty suitable or kind of surprising or impressive to them. So 2-1 when they've started brightly, but Leicester need to pick it up, man.
Okay, Kems.
Right. And Chris, I go want my 30 seconds at the end of the show, so I go want you to speed up the analysis, right? Bam.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're good. I'm just messing with you. Right. So now when we talk about Leicester, right? Another player we have to call out, James Maddison. I hear him say one play, number this, number that. But James Maddison hasn't scored or assisted since February 2021. That's a joke business. That is joke business. I see them substitute him right after halftime. So that's a joke business too. In terms of the game, Brighton played well. Leicester had some VAR complications, all kind of madness. They cost me money. I am mad, but the better team deserved to win, and they did. Brighton was a better team. Leicester just try to play catch up, but when Leicester decide to start play football, then the game is already done. So good win for Brighton. Brendan Rodgers, look good for you. Look like you're really a Dodgers.
Okay. Next up, we saw Man United taking on West Ham at the London Stadium, and it was not a good performance. A game marred by controversy, in which United said that they should have gotten penalties. If you look at it, they could have possibly gotten 2 penalties on Cristiano, but referee saw it different. And again, as I said, marred by a lot of controversy, and this is why people actually love the Premier League. It have you on the edge, emotions up, emotions down, and even the coach it gets to a time. And eventually, Man United came through and they got a 2-1 victory. Jesse Lingard scoring a peach of a goal, and kind of eased the burden off himself for what he did against Young Boys. But let's talk about United performance. It wasn't the best, first and foremost. And boy, I keep on saying, United need to get rid of Fred. Stop playing Fred in the team. So, Kems, I'm going to start with you.
All right, so obviously, we welcome all 3 points. We take those. No matter how them come, we will take, right? But if we talk about the game, obviously Manchester United never play well. Bruno never play well. Fred never play well. Pogba never play well. And the list go on and on, right? I don't like the Mac-Fred partnership. And who I don't like out of the partnership, are Fred. He's just, as I tell you before, it just not sound good. You win a championship and Fred are your pivot. It just don't fit, right? So Fred needs to go. It's impossible to say man I play football so long and still can't make 10-yard passes. Still can't make the right play. Like make no sense. I think those penalties those penalty claims I thought they were penalties. It wasn't given. We have to go by the whistle. We can't moan and groan about it then. But David De Gea, I never know him could have saved a penalty, because the last time he saved a penalty was 2014. That's 7 years ago. So I never know that man could have saved a penalty. But props to him. When you are going on a championship run, when you're a championship team, every game now gonna be roses. Some games you have to win by luck. Liverpool got a lot of luck when they won. You already know City get a lot of luck, and so on and so forth. So, some games you have to get by luck, and probably this was one of our lucky games. That for the 3 points, we just want to support the partnership there. Matty cannot eat neither. So, we know what we're going to do. Probably January, we have to get in the transfer window for sure. But, I welcome the 3 points.
Okay, Chris, my question to you is that I remember when fans used to chant that it's Barchester when United normally get penalties, but seems that the referees have moved away totally from looking at Culture United to basically stop giving them penalties. Because I remind you, personally for me, the one from Kufal and Christie, I never saw that as a penalty. Reason being, he never really swung his leg at Christie. His leg was right there. Christie was running into it. However, the one from Zuma on him, I thought that was a Stonewall penalty because Zuma got nowhere close to the ball. Took out the man, that was a penalty for me all day long.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
All right, you see the reason why I give Buffals own a penalty as well, because in the modern day, when one win box and you're near them, the attackers and them dropping at the box is a penalty for the referees.
Remember that part kind of ease the rules a bit.
Yeah, but VAR has not been consistent. That's the problem with VAR. But the one on Zuma, clear penalty. I thought that was a Stonewall penalty. Even some pundits were saying that it was a penalty too. So you can't. If the pundits who have played the game, who have read the game, who have analyzed the game, are saying that as well. I mean that, but the performance today, the performance yesterday by United was not the greatest. But I mean, that's what makes you championship teams. You're not gonna have the greatest performances every time, but once you're grabbing 3 points, you're grabbing 3 points. Fantastic goal from Jesse Lingard. I think Luis Fabianski was just unlucky because the 2 goals he conceded, it was a ricochet, and then Christie pounced on it, and then that goal from Jesse Lingard, I don't think any other keeper would have kept that one. And that was top bins. That was a very good goal. And then a miraculous penalty save, read it well, David De Gea, and was the hero of the game. So towards the end, we saw where United really showed fight and showed character towards the end of the game. They got a goal, and their goalkeeper prevented them from losing the game. And I think that a lot of times people don't know, because we have won so many Premier League titles since the era. I mean, people don't understand that we've grinded out wins before. So good win from Manchester United. Justice was served.
Them say Christy did not show him a football. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Foolishness.
No,
But,
that was Photoshop, because the position where he was at, he was not nowhere near there. But Fred needs to go. He can't. CDM
all
role
right,
not
Kings,
good.
what I want to mention, you said something that I really want to look at keenly. You said that the last time that David De Gea actually saved a penalty was 2014.
Yeah,
A
ridiculous.
little bit of history. Did you know who conceded the penalty on that occasion?
No.
The same man that conceded the penalty yesterday.
Yes.
So it was Shaw who gave away the penalty
Luke
on the last
Shaw.
occasion. And it was not
Yeah.
Shaw yesterday in the game. But good one from them, and you know what I like about them at the end? You can see unity within the team, because I noticed that after the match finished, everyone was right there, and that is what you like to see. And again, I'm a Dean Henderson fan, and that won't ever change. But if David De Gea is going to be between the sticks, he needs to perform consistently, and that's what you want. As long as he's performing, no problem whatsoever. But that's for another day. Happy for the 3 points, and especially with the other teams winning, we definitely needed that desperately. Next up, we saw Chelsea taking on Tottenham, and Tottenham, boy, Tottenham played so well in the first half that they should have took their chances. They didn't. You know what happened? This is where manager comes in, and this is the difference between Ole and a Klopp, a Tuchel, and the rest of the guys. Tuchel saw it that Mason Mount was absolutely awful in that first half. You know what man did at halftime?
Yep.
Man just draft a contest, sub out Mount, and that's the thing that I like about these coaches. They now go wait until they reach 60, 70, 75, 88 minutes to make the change. If the man see not perform good, he might go pull immediately. And remember the previous game that I don't recall exactly who they played, but I believe Saul was awful in that game.
Yeah.
He was,
And
and
you know what
Tuchel
he did?
came out and said that he could not manage 45. That's why he took him out.
And he took him out after 45 again, and the same thing with Mount. And Chelsea fans don't agree, but ever since Euros, Mason Mount never did anything at Euros. And since then, his performances have been going down and down and down. I know that they're not going to agree, because a lot of them are caught up in the fanfare. However, if you look at it from an analytical standpoint, they haven't been good any at all. But again, Chelsea showed exactly what you expect them to show under this coach. They showed championship mettle. They show that, yes, they are here to win things. And people still want to disagree that Chelsea have the deepest squad. I don't know for whatever reasons, but Chelsea can put any 11 out there on any given day and beat any team. So again, they have a manager who knows how to win, a manager who knows his purpose, and he's going about it the right way. Now, Chris, you look at Chelsea's performance. Would you say that they're showing that championship mettle that you expect from a top team?
They're the one. This is one of the reasons why they're one of the title favorites. You can't take that away from them. This is one of the reasons. This game alone proves to you why Thomas Tuchel took this team and won against Pep Guardiola in the Champions League finals. He saw that Mason Mount was not performing, took him out. Kante came, changed the game. Tottenham should have taken their chances in the first half, but didn't. And people are saying that they started lively during the start of the season. But when you look at it, they've been winning by close margins, Tottenham. They've been winning by close margins, Tottenham. So Thomas Tuchel, man, a tactical performance against Tottenham. Got 3 points. Kante was the difference. Saw that he would have made a difference and did make a difference. Hey, Levan, that man have about 20 lungs. I can tell you that. That man could have played 2-3 more hours. But he knew he's injured, wanted to bring him back into the team, and he did so. Scored. Good win from Chelsea.
All right, Kebs.
Yeah, so the difference between the managers, is that managers like Ole and them, and they want to give you a chance to make up back for your mistake. So 45 minutes. All right, second half, we'll give 20 minutes in the second half on that, and them little thing that can cost you the game. This coach, and this is why the players are gonna always play hard and go out there and try to do their best because they know that this coach is not a playing team. Once you not play good, then come, let's go. Where Mason Mount is concerned, I've never seen the big hype around him. He's a player who work hard. I'll give him that. He works hard. He runs a lot, but I don't see him as a player, as a game-changing kind of player. I don't know what other people see, but I don't see that, right? In terms of the game itself, Tottenham not ready for this. Like I think Tottenham did have already. Tottenham not ready for this. Just within his, as I told you before, this coach said, "I'm going to build a team that nobody wants to play again." And trust me, I don't think nobody wants to play against this Chelsea team. This Chelsea team has conceded one goal in the Premier League. One stingy defense. So
All right, so Kems, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because Chris is saying that Liverpool is probably the least likely favorite based on fans and pundits and all of that. But he just pointed out that Chelsea so far has conceded only one goal. That was against Liverpool. Do you know that Liverpool as well has only conceded one goal,
yeah, I
and
think
that
they
Same
is
as
against
City.
Chelsea?
Same as
I think they have
City.
like the same scoreline
Yeah,
against.
they have the same scoreline
Everything
throughout the season.
identical. Everything.
All right, so I don't know where Chris get that from. I don't know which pundits
No, I'm
use
telling
such.
you, before the start of the season, persons
Yeah,
were
yeah, that's
talking
true.
about
Chelsea
United,
and City.
City, and
Not no, no,
Chelsea.
no, Chris.
I am
Not
telling you, with
United.
the addition
Not
of
United.
Cristiano Ronaldo and having Bruno, and Sancho and Varane, I am telling you, United, Chelsea,
You
and
have to
City were what persons were talking
tell me that.
about a
But
lot. Liverpool
I've
was
heard
under the radar.
I've heard persons say, "Oh, Van Dijk coming back, he is ready to go," and blah 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 blah. Liverpool have a strong team. I think Liverpool will be up in the second and the third. Man U win, and then Chelsea them are battle for second and third. So, but back to Chelsea, we can talk about Liverpool another time. But back to Chelsea. As Levan said, them can put the 11 what them play are, them can find another 11 and play, and at the same thing. Because the coach have a way that he want them to play. He has a system, he has a tactical system, and if you now work with, if you want deviate from that, then you're gonna come sit down with him on the bench. You're gonna ride the pine, and the man is a no nonsense coach. I know he was at PSG and never see PSG defend like this at all, but I guess it all comes down to personnel. We never have a particular personnel answer, but Chelsea's just playing well, and kudos to them. Kudos to them for real.
Kems, good observation, because you know that it was yesterday the producer and I was having the same conversation. We're saying that you know what he has noticed with this Chelsea team.
Yeah.
Remember that this coach was at Dortmund, and he
Mhm.
was at PSG. When this man was at those teams, you can expect to see the opposing team to score 3, 4,
Yeah,
5
yeah,
against them.
yeah,
No, this man has built a stonewall defense that boy. To score against them is very hard. Even though personally for me, I believe they're a team that can concede if you pressure them. As was proven with Tottenham, Tottenham was just lacking in that attacking third, and they just never put away the chances. Even Aston Villa, remember the Aston Villa game?
yeah.
Aston Villa pressured them again, faulty finishing. That's why they never conceded. But boy, they look good, man. Can't lie about that. Before I move to giving you guys 30 seconds each, just want to say for everybody that is tuning currently, just please man, subscribe to the channel, keep on liking the content, sharing it, and let's just grow together, man. Remember that's the aim. Chris, your 30 seconds.
All right. This boy, sorry, but good weekend for the Premier League. Good performance from Brentford. Fighting performance from United. Terrible performance from the defending champions, but we see where the title contenders, Chelsea, Liverpool, are really starting to find their footing. Even though they were scoring identical goals and they were scoring some goals, because both have, I believe, 12 goals and only concede one, which was against each other. So they're really emerging as one of the main title favorites this season. But it's not going to be easy for them. Like I said, good fighting win, 3 points for Manchester United, show that they can fight. The team that impressed me the most was surprising, I should say, was Brentford. But good all-around weekend, I should say, but awful performance from the defending champions.
Okay, Kems.
If the defending champions players get cold feet playing against Southampton, they don't need to be in that championship circle. They need to go sit on one side. Champions League final and everything, they can get cold feet. Against a little bit of Southampton, don't give me a break. Right now, my team, the Green Bay Packers, is currently up 21-17, and they have the ball. They're driving down the
And
field.
Dolphins lose 35-0. And you really put out the Dolphins jersey there and they
Well,
lose to the Bills.
a quarterback got hurt. That's the thing. And big
Yeah,
up to
Tua got
Manchester.
her.
Big up to Manchester United. Great win over the weekend. 3 points, we take those. And for all the betters, look out for some tips later on and tomorrow.
Okay. Saw some Jamaica Premier League action over the weekend as well. Mount Pleasant got a very good win against Arborview, and I like how they look. Hopefully, they can claim this title because they're from Saint Anne my place still. So would love if they actually get this title. Their United though looks a real threat, and Lucky seems to have them playing some good football. Just time to you can just go and watch some Jamaica Premier League, and our analyst Chris actually is a co-commentator on that program as well on Sportsmax. So you can go over there and listen to him, man, because sometimes makes sense, sometimes he's talk a lot of gibberish, but as said, we're all in the sports world and sometimes we talk nonsense. But otherwise than that, you can go over there and watch it, man. And I'll end this by saying thanks to all our viewers, our commenters, you're the one that makes this possible. Thanks to our producer Josh Carl, who makes it possible as well, to our analyst Kims and Chris for being here. And guys, remember, subscribe. Until tomorrow, just go and watch some sports. A lot of sporting action going on. As Kims just said, NFL is going on. You have a lot of football action tomorrow. Just go and watch some sports. And Albert Williams, big up yourself again, man. Albert Williams in the comment section saying that good to see Purity Bun coming through for Sherika. Let me put it up on the screen. So here's Albert saying that my 30 seconds. Good to see Purity Bun coming through for Sherika. She planned to send me mines as well. Happy to see Leon Bailey get a big goal for his club. Big up
Yeah, we should
yourself.
have mentioned that, man. Very good
Yeah, man.
goal from Leon Bailey.
Yeah, man. Until tomorrow, stay safe, guys. Peace out.